It looks like everything that can go wrong for Piddle has been going wrong, and I mean everything from good riddance to bad blood. Hey, get the door, man. It ain't dominoes, it's karma.
The thing that's so full of shit about Diddy's apology to Cassie is that even after Diddy settled the lawsuit with her, he still put out a statement denying all the allegations, right? Like, you're like, oh, I'm sorry for this on this video. Like, are we going to talk about when you put out a whole statement about how lying on your character, like all these vicious lies to disparage you? Meanwhile, here you are in 4K doing this. So what are you talking about? Well, you so sorry, you working to be a better man. No, you're not working to be a better man, because just the other day, according to you, you were already a good man and everybody was lying on you and attacking your character. So what is this? What is this? What is this?
From a half-hearted apology about the leaked surveillance footage of him and Cassie to a sudden disappearance after the whole child trafficking lawsuit, the whole world wants to see Diddy pay for his crimes.
And our next guest has been sounding the alarm on the rapper for 25 years and says that his apology means absolutely nothing. In December of 1999, Diddy was with his then-girlfriend, Jennifer Lopez, outside a Manhattan nightclub. There was a fight. Shots were fired and multiple people got injured. Natanya Rubin was shot in the face. She was taken to the hospital. Diddy was acquitted on 2 counts of criminal possession of an unregistered gun and attempted bribery. Natanya told me she would have the bullet fragments taken out of her own face if it meant that she could finally prove that it was Diddy who shot her. I talked with her moments ago to get a reaction to the now viral assault video. Here's what she said.
I was disgusted. I was disgusted at a very deep place, first and foremost, because it validated everything we already knew and suspected. You know, it just made it clear and defined in a way that no one could deny. I was very saddened for Cassie because she had to be re-victimized by this thing being presented. It has zero value to me. First and foremost, it is the classic scripted publicist apology. I take accountability. I was disgusted. I went to rehab. I mean, how many times have we heard this narrative through the annals of time whenever a celebrity gets caught doing something or someone notable gets caught? It's the same narrative. Secondly, it carries no weight to me because he never apologized to Cassie directly. It was all about him. I'm disgusted. I hit a hard time. It was all about him.
Natalie Rubin, who insists that it was Diddy who shot her at the 1999 club shooting, claims that the apology sounds extremely scripted and is very self-centered, barely even mentioning Cassie and the abuse that she went through. But that ain't the only thing that's wrong with it. In fact, some people seem to think that the video wasn't even recorded recently. According to this Twitter user, Diddy's video seems to have been recorded at his Star Island mansion, but considering the fact that Diddy hasn't come back home since the raids, it makes you wonder, was the apology recorded beforehand because Diddy knew what was coming? Or did he somehow manage to make it back home using his own underground tunnels?
Not hysterical, not frantic, not anxious, not fretful, but steady in the storm. Looks bad, looks tough, but remain steady.
That uncovered an entire system of underground tunnels wasn't enough. River posted an unsolicited update about himself using a tunnel visual and having JayZ narrate it, which only makes everything look all the more suspicious.
And this is the beginning of the end for him. I'm praying for her safety and security. There were always rumors going around about him mistreating Cassie for years. The singer Cassie in a lawsuit says that Mr. Combs, also known as Puff Daddy or P. Diddy, controlled and abused her for 10 years. Mr. Combs strongly denies the allegations. In response, Puff Daddy's lawyer said the following: Cassie has been pressuring Mr. Combs for the past 6 months, demanding $30 million, or else she'd be writing a damaging and tell-all book about Sean Puffy Combs. in their relationship. He says that it clearly shows the singer Cassie is only out to blackmail him. I can only imagine what Kim Porter went through as well. Diddy is in fact the devil. His secrets and skeletons are all coming out the closet now. I believe Cassie.
And the worst part about all this is the fact that these tunnels were used for absolutely heinous crimes, including the trafficking of young women and kids.
Through the garden area, and employees led us to underground tunnels. We had to take an elevator and stairs. We had to be led. There is no way that you can just walk into a tunnel. The entrances and the exits are in your face, but there's no way that you can just walk through tunnels. You'll get stuck. You'll go deeper and deeper, and you won't be able to come back out because it's hard, because the tunnels run all different directions for miles and miles and miles and miles. So if you go down the wrong one, you'll get stuck, and it's confusing to turn back around and get back to where you're going. So you have to be led in and out. I think people assume that when you get underground, it's just this dirt, and you keep going deeper, and there's more dirt, and then there's cages of children. No, that's not how it works. There's cities underground. There's warehouses underground. There's actual homes underground. People build these tunnels, and they've built them for decades. There's a lot, and elite celebrities, they go down there for parties. I just want to keep my promise to some of my friends.
Allie Carter, survivor of sex trafficking and Hollywood satanic sex rituals, speaks out back in 2020 about how she was sold into trafficking through foster care. Allie allegedly claims that she was a victim of sex trafficking for many years and has witnessed well-known high-profile celebrities and politicians that have participated, such as Joe Biden, Michelle and Barack Obama, JayZ, Beyonce, and many more. She goes on to explain that she's witnessed underground tunnels at the Getty Museum in Los Angeles, California, Buckingham Palace, and various other places. Please like, subscribe, and share this video.
That this information I kind of kept to myself because I know that some people know about this but are not sure. Underground tunnels are very real. Underground life is real.
Now, if you find that hard to believe, hear from Allie Carter, a young woman who was trafficked and transported using these very tunnels that would lead directly to the homes of elite celebrities like Diddy, helping them commit crimes in broad daylight without anybody even noticing.
I'm a psychic medium, so I actually, like, every time I walk past his house, and obviously the Playboy Mansion's right there, and we know about the tunnels that connect from the Playboy Mansion
to here.
I'm sure they connect here. Why wouldn't
there are places that connect? So what kind of energy? What kind of energy are you picking up?
Just like there's just like darkness. I mean, in general, like I've always had weird feelings on this street.
Yeah.
The Playboy Mansion's down there. So I always thought it was the Playboy Mansion. It wasn't until probably a year ago that I realized this was Diddy's house.
What's even creepier is that this whole psychic medium visited Diddy's home after the raids and immediately sensed the dark energy there. That's probably not just from the tunnels, but also because of all the other things that went on there.
Mention other people platforms, but he got on Shay Shay and he mentioned how great and how good Puff taught him and everything. You know what I'm saying? About the business. Right? I know, and people know, that was around that in that time that Puff and Usher did have a situation. And that situation led Usher to the hospital. Now, I let Usher explain that to y'all. I let Usher tell that story. But how dare you say a man that groomed you, you gonna give him a pass? Bruh, you know I know. Let me reframe you on something. Remember, Usher? We was at the Swiss Hotel. Puff had Kim in the room. Had one of Keith Sweat's baby mothers in the big room outside the master bedroom. He came outside in his robe. She gave him a fellatio right there. His back was turned to me. She gave him a fellatio. You knocked on the door. I came and opened the door for you. Puff went in the room. You came in the room and kissed that girl dead in her mouth. Now I'm telling that because you taking up with somebody that you know and a lot of more people know didn't do you right when you was at Diddy camp.
Hear from Diddy's own ex-bodyguard, who's a witness to all of Diddy's crimes, which heavily included grooming and child abuse. But as sick as it is, the truth is that all of Hollywood is involved in this mess.
That she met JayZ and had intercourse with him. How old was she?
I would say I think she was about 16, 17, or 16, just turning 16 or 17. I know it was one of them.
And JayZ was what age?
I wouldn't happen to know. I think he was in his 20s?
I read 22.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I think I read 22, but he was in his 20s.
Yes, I wouldn't happen to know his age, but 22, I'm pretty sure if they put that out there, then that's what his age was.
Right.
Yeah.
So I just want to point out to our audience that JayZ having sex with a minor would make that child rape because she was underage at the time. And then furthermore, the fact that he took her from one state to another state, I imagine would be in a violation of state trafficking laws. Wow. So moving forward.
And it ain't just Diddy. His good old buddy JayZ is also known for having a thing for minor girls. In fact, it's alleged that JayZ had multiple affairs and babies with underage girls, only to use money or violence to shut them all up.
All right. Woo! Thanks for coming to see us. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. Ashton, thank you for dropping the mic with me earlier.
The outcome, I'm not sure I think it was rigged. Like, I'm feeling, but I learned how to do this in his studio. Like, I don't even, he's like my coach. And then he said, no, you're dead. You lose.
No, Ivan Drago wins. Yeah.
It's awful.
When did you first meet?
I gave him a call one day and I said, I heard that you are going to punk me and I just don't think that's a good idea. Tell a story.
I'm pretty sure that's not the way you said it. I don't think that's a good idea. Is that what you said?
Even Diddy's good friend Ashton Kutcher's name has come up after the lawsuit, and he might just be the next celebrity to be exposed for all their dirty crimes.
But you may not believe what went on under it. Playboy magazine reports it has just discovered blueprints for a network of tunnels beneath the mansion. Jack Nicholson, Warren Beatty,
Watch yourself, all right?
James Caan, and Kirk Douglas. A photo from the late 70s allegedly showing an excavation in progress beneath the mansion. Check out the bunny logo on the plywood wall. Best of all, the blueprint. This one to Jack Nicholson's. This one to Kirk Douglas's.
Case in Manhattan Beach, California. The children there claimed there were tunnels under the school up into the trap door of a bathroom in a triplex next door, placed in automobiles, and prostituted in the community. 3- and 4-year-old children before they entered kindergarten. That they were flown into the mountains where they were involved with adults in robes, black robes, chanting, candles. And in checking into this and researching this, of course, this was obviously a satanic ceremony. The grandmother was acquitted, hung jury on Ray Buckey. The second trial, another hung jury. 1990, to gain control of the school.
It's God's side and the other side. And we don't care nothing about the other side. Period. Period. All of these big dick deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is.
FBI Assistant Director Chris Swecker. Chris, great to have you on the show. I mean, the big headline there is kind of what we want to get into you with, because it is now been confirmed this is a sex trafficking case, but Sean Combs is not the target. Boy, he sure looks like the target, though, Chris. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, apparently HSI is leaking out a lot of information, and you're right. It looks like there's a very significant sex trafficking, human trafficking investigation underway, and it looks like it's coming out of the HSI Division of International Organized Crime, or something along those lines. So it looks pretty significant. Got 2 major search warrants, a lot of process around those search warrants, a lot of kitted out tactical people raiding those 2 locations. So it looks like a lot of drama around all this. And you know there's enough probable cause, because you don't get search warrants without strong probable cause, that there is at least a human trafficking, sex trafficking ring at work here.
Now, why now? Why?
Because he's the acceptable monster at this time, like R. Kelly was the last time I sat on this couch.
So who's next?
Y'all don't see the lineup?
Yeah, we see the lineup. I'm just waiting to see who's next.
JayZ is setting Diddy up. Why is everyone having such a hard time? He ain't doing shit different. He lined up D. Haven, stole his life and identity. He lined up Big L, stole his life and identity. He lined up Dame Dash, stole his life, identity, and took his love. Lined up R. Kelly. He wants to be the one.
Yeah, shout out D. Haven. He actually hit us up, wanted to tell this story.
You need to talk to D. Haven.
Yeah, we need to talk to him.
The book is great, by the way.
Thank you very much.
In the book, you also say this. You say we need to have some difficult conversations about hip-hop and how it can be both a positive cultural force and self-destructive. Now, can you explain what you mean by that? And what do you, well, let's start there.
Well, I just think about the influence of hip-hop and, you know, the influence that hip-hop has on culture, the way that we, you know, talk, the way that we walk, the way that we dress, and, you know, just growing up, all the influence that hip-hop had on me. And, you know, I just think that, you know, you have to use that tool of hip-hop, that resource of hip-hop to really, you know, empower people. Like when I look at guys like, you know, Kendrick Lamar with his last album, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, you know, or JayZ, the 444 album, I think in the future we're gonna look at those albums and say those are 2 of the most important hip hop albums of all time because of the topics that they're discussing on there. Like they're talking about, you know, going to therapy. They're talking about, you know, the infidelity that they did and how they're trying to be better men towards their women, you know, and just, you know, the whole journey of healing. Like that's what we should be talking about. Like if you look at the last 50 years of hip-hop, it was almost like we were little boys, and now we're growing into manhood. And in order to continue to have a career, like you do have to grow up.
Yeah. You do.
And I'm not.
I apologize to anyone. This video may be embarrassing too. Let's just jump right into it. Some of you may know me or may not. I'm a music producer who's a writer and musician. Different genres. I started in the gospel and jazz and R&B and work my way over to the hip hop side. I've been working on an album. I took a year off straight working on this album. That album is the Love album, Off the Grid by Diddy. And it's Grammy nominated right now as we speak. I should be celebrating, but the truth is I'm not. Taking this album on has required so much time, you know, months and at a time, 16 hours to 24 hours a day. Sometimes, you know, Diddy would request certain works to be done and tell us don't go to sleep until it's done. And the truth is we'll be up for days trying to accomplish that. I've tried to get my business straight with them on this album, but the truth is they're not playing fair. They hit me on below the belt on so many situations, just dealing with this. It's the contract that they give me and the offer that they gave me was just disgusting. The producer fee, pennies, and on top of that, these guys are trying to steal my publishing. I can't go for that, so I'm fighting back. He's a fighter, but I'm going to put in this fight. I got to do it for myself, my rights.